The date is June 24th, 2023. I've recently had an interlock put into the car. The car has been put on the road. It feels amazing. But I don't consider myself an alcoholic, but I do have a drinking issue. Today was the first day that I blew and failed. Not because I was fucking drunk as fuck, trying to go get cigarettes, drive into, whatever, going to get more, nothing like that. I drank the night before, hung out with the female, Roylene, and I told her the night before I'd be able to drive her home in the morning because I had my car, and I feel good about having it. My pride is up, the love is up, the freedom I feel is there, but the stupidity still exists. I blew because I woke up in the morning, she had to go, and I thought it was okay. And I went out to the car, and I blew into it, and I blew, and I failed. But I'm sitting here saying to myself, everything. I'm sitting here saying everything. I'm asking myself, why do I do these things? What have I done to lead me here? I listen to lectures all the time. And it's not the fact they go in one ear and out the other. They don't. At all. It's just that I hear it and it's a message, but my life is different. And now, it might get quiet for a minute because I want to almost feel like the recorder's not on. Because the recorder is a whole different ball game. The documentation of my life is very important for my son. I gotta go help Richie out later at 11:30. And I told Richie, I said, you gotta come pick me up, man. I'm not gonna blow in that thing again. And he's like, you got fucking 3-4 hours after now. And I told him I don't feel comfortable. And when I talk to him later, I'm going to tell him I don't feel comfortable doing it. But the underlying truth is, as soon as I blew bad with that, I felt like an asshole. Mm-hmm. Because A, I don't know what's going to happen for me blowing bad in it. B, I told the girl I was going to drive her home, and I couldn't. And C, I had to pay money. I just felt horrible for being not smart enough to know I can't do what I did last night. I shouldn't have offered to drive her home. I knew I was going to hang out with her and drink in the night. I hate I hate the fact that people run our lives. It sounds crazy. It sounds stupid. But I hate the fact that you guys determine what I can and can't do. Now, in my mind, I was capable of driving that girl back home. But through a system of certain things, and this is the rebel talking. I understand the regulations. I understand everything that goes down. I understand that I was capable of driving her home. She only lives so far away. I would have drove her home, come back home, and probably went back to sleep. But now I'm up, and I'm drinking again. It's not an excuse. That's what I was trying to say before about the whole concept when I told Richie, you're going to have to come and get me, because he's like, oh, you'll be able to blow later and you'll be alright. Yeah, I probably would have. Mm-hmm. But as soon as I felt like an asshole, I wanted to drink. statement to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
As soon as I felt like an asshole, I wanted to drink. Why do I feel like an asshole? Why do I drink? That's the question. That's the root. Well, at least it's one root of it. Because I feel like me wanting to drink, there's a lot of roots under the ground. It's weird though. Because I know I don't need to drink. I know I go through plenty of time frames of not drinking. And it's very enjoyable.
Yes.
Now, the funniest thing is I can't even put it on a scale of what's better. Not drinking I'm talking about not drinking out of pure not wanting to drink.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a difference between not drinking because you can't drink. You know, like you either fucking, I don't even know, like you're either in a sober home or you're in jail, you're in a hospital, like, you know, your fucking wife has told you, your family has told, like whatever. I'm talking about when there's a regiment and there's a
not
a regiment,
no,
but there's a limitation of what you could do out of not your own free will. But when I do have free will to not drink, it does feel amazing.
Yeah.
But like I said, I can't balance it out because on the other hand, I really do enjoy drinking and hanging out and listening to music and enjoying myself. I know there's a risk involved. And I guess that's the whole point of this is to say, like, the risk of everything. But I just kind of hate the fact that, like, everybody controls everything. Like, I have no control over my life. That's how I feel. And I feel like that maybe is why I am a rebel. Because, like, who's to say what? You know? I don't feel like a bad person. And so that's basically what I'm saying. I don't feel like a bad person. I don't think I was wrong for drinking and hanging out with my friend last night and waking up in the morning 5-6 hours later and trying to drive her home and my blood alcohol content is too high, but I'm okay. And me to fail a test and be more worried. But it is what it is. There's no mistakes. Just as much as me having a cigarette right now. Just as much as me drinking right now. Like, there's no mistakes. Like, but I'm sitting here and I'm contemplating life. My life. My choices. My decisions. My existence. And I have to come up with some kind of game plan. And Richie's right. Probably should just stop drinking. That's it. Stop drinking. But deep down inside, I know that's not what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a difference between being noble and being, you know, something else. And there's a difference between being smart. And I'm smart enough to know it's not going to happen.
No.
For some reason, deep in my core, I'm defiant. I don't know why. I always thought me being defiant was like maybe more of a difference between commonality. I don't want to be common. I want to be different, and I want to be like the rebel with the cause. Technically, I do feel like the rebel with a cause. Because I do music that's like conscious. You know, I speak to people and I feel people's love consciously. Like, but I know deep down inside I'm a fucking crazy ass motherfucker. And that's another root that digs down into the ground. All these roots that hold this big ass tree up.
I wasn't peeing.
All these roots. The roots have to be severed. It's not what's on the surface. You know what's funny? I remember listening to a lecture and them explaining that, you know, when the Titanic crashed into that big iceberg, they didn't realize, or people didn't even think of the concept that you hit the top of the iceberg and everything fell apart. You have no idea that most of the iceberg is under the water.
Frozen. Solid. Hard to
The tree
chunk
can't
off.
stand without it stretching deep into the ground with roots to hold it together. Now in my head I'm thinking, the roots wither away. I'm assuming they do. If you think about it, a tree will fall over inevitably in the end. But I'm thinking that the roots had to have died, right, for the tree to have fallen over. Right?
Right.
For it to be uprooted from the ground. The roots had to have died. It had to have let go. I sound like a philosopher. It's like, where's the schooling? You can't be a philosopher without having the schooling. Tell Guru that.
He never had schooling.
I don't know. It sucks. I feel like a fuck up and a saint. How can you feel like both? How can you feel like both at the same time? You can't hate and love at the same time. It's impossible. How can I be a saint and a sinner at the same time? Well, I guess technically if you murdered somebody for the right reason in your head, then you'd be a saint and a sinner because you'd be killing somebody but doing it for a right reason. I mean, there's a gazillion, infinite amount of situations that we go through that. But I've come to the conclusion that there's no wrong or right anyway. I'm not good or bad. I'm energy. I'm matter. I'm the universe. It's just that my mind sometimes tells me that I have to be part of society and I have to conform. I'm not used to conformity. Maybe because of the statement I just said. I'm not different than you, I just know what I am. And I know deep down inside none of this really matters. It's all like a game, you know? Monopoly board. Dice. And we play. But I guess I'm just tired of not conforming and like playing without dice. I feel like I have one dice right now.
One.
You know?
One dice.
Not two. It's a board game where you need two. I'm gonna be okay regardless. Okay. Let's bring up another subject. My son.
My son.
People think I don't care. Sometimes I wonder if I do. It's a hard thought. Because I know deep down I care so much. I can't even think if somebody cared about my son as much as I do. I'm hoping. I'm praying. I'm wishing. And I think Kim has it, you know. Because there's a difference between taking care of somebody and actually understanding what life is about. And willing to find out before you else up into the world.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds crazy, even to me. But it's the truth. If you haven't found out what life's about, how are you supposed to interpret it to somebody else, especially a child?
Especially a child.
Do I care about my son? I just said it. 100,000, 10 million over. Anything. There's no number for it.
Nope.
But I am totally, utterly in fear. And I'm running away. Not because I don't care. Not because I'm not compassionate. Not because I'm an asshole. I don't know what to teach him. I don't want him to sponge off of me. Now, why don't I want him to sponge off of me? Not because I'm not equipped to show him something that somebody else is not going to show him without actually having to show him. But, because I'm not there yet.
No.
I don't know if I'm going to get there in this life. I believe in reincarnation. I think that I'm going to be reborn after I die. That's my opinion. Everybody has their own opinion. You die, you go to hell, heaven. You die, nothing exists. You die, like, everybody has their own opinion. But I truly do believe that we come back. I don't know. I feel it in my gut. I heard, and maybe it's people stuffing me with stuff, like, okay, it makes you curious. If nobody were to ever to teach you something, what would you know? Well, you know what you see. You know what you hear. Nobody has to express anything to you. You learn interpretation on your own free will. But nobody does that. I don't even do that. I teach my son all these things. And it's like, teaching all the shit that ended me where I am. How can I teach you that? It's weird. It's like,
it's weird.
You grow up just to be like your parents, and you realize, and you don't understand why. Because they just taught you all the shit they had, that their parents had, that their parents had, that
their parents had.
You don't stop and think. We're not making new roots. The lady I live with, she's kicked me out numerous times. Well, not technically kicked me out, but she talks about it. Most of that has to do with me and my excessive drinking.
Yeah.
Her excessive drinking. Yeah. Clash. But I told my buddy a couple days ago, I said, Carrie is a teacher.
Teacher.
She is my guru. But I told him, I said, you know who's my best teacher? My father. Because he can draw things out of me that no one else can. He can make me argue with him when I don't want to argue. He can be so amazing.
Yes. I'm my father.
And who's another good teacher? And everybody would say, what are you talking about? You're out of your mind. Hopefully. Jimmy. Jimmy was one of my ultimate teachers. And I failed that test heavily. Failed that test heavily. And Jimmy's not part of my life now. Because I try to text him, try to call him. He don't call back, he don't text. But we've had periods where I've cut him off, he's cut me off. But now Jimmy has cut me off. Now, did Jimmy cut me off because of hostility, feelings, the whole nine, or did Jimmy cut me off because I don't need that teacher anymore?
Mm-hmm.
He's played his part in my life, and I love Jimmy. He's getting married, he's got a stepdaughter, maybe hopefully they'll have a kid. I almost want to call him because I have love for him. You know, maybe I will. Just leave a message because it doesn't mean you don't send something to receive it. You don't give a gift to think you get a gift back. You show love to show love. You do things because you do things. You shouldn't expect. I have this interlock on the car, and I drive home from Asbury Park. It's about a 40-minute ride with traffic. It ends up being like about an hour. But I sit there and I just think it's okay. It's great. Me and my mom were in traffic when she was bringing me, I think, to go get my license. And she was worried about traffic. And I stopped her when we were in traffic. And I said, "Isn't this amazing?"
This is amazing.
She looked at me like, "Huh? This is amazing. We're in traffic, but the traffic has stopped us to be able to enjoy our conversation. We don't see the other side of the coin. We think the grass is greener on the other side, and it's not. The grass is only green in your head if it's green. It could be dying, or it could be fully blown, And then every once in a while, your grass gets really high. You gotta bring a lawnmower and fucking trim it down. Or you could just let it just keep growing. But we have a tendency not to have a jungle in our mind. The jungle's bad. Too many thoughts, too many concepts are horrible. I realize that. It's like when you go to sleep. You don't know why you can't stop thinking. I can't even tell you why you can't stop thinking. That's your grass. That's the long ass grass that you need to mow and let go.
And let go.
Like for real. Like when you mow a lawn, you don't fucking go pick up every piece that got cut and throw it in a bag and put it in the back of the house or put it in the corner of a room. You let it go. You mow your grass. You let go.
I'm learning to let go.
I'm learning to let go. I have no grudges with anybody.
No.
I can't. They're me.
They're me.
I know that. I'm not mad at people for being who they are because I know who I am. Or at least I assume. Like I said, we live in this playful world where games are being played, roles are being played, like the persona, the mask, as Alan would say.
Alan was.
But it's beautiful. Even through the hardship, even through the nonsense, even through the craziness of life. So beautiful. And I do cherish it. But I cherish it in a way that people don't understand. A lot of people are out here and they're getting things and they're having families and they're doing what they were taught. What they were taught. They're not doing what they feel. They're not doing what just that burning desire. I mean, some of them are. Don't get me wrong. Some of them are. But majority are not. Because We're technically cogs in a machine that just runs. It's an automatic machine. It's like the internet. The internet has no idea what it is or what it does, but it functions. And I'm pretty sure they said they can't shut it down. The internet will live on forever. And imagine the one component that's just absorbing everything. How he feels, or she feels, or it feels, or they feel, or we feel. Imagine how fucking much of a headache it is. It's funny to think that fucking microchip just has a headache. I love watching AI movies where the machine doesn't know if it has feelings or not.
Mm.
And it keeps saying it doesn't. Weird.
Weird.
How could the machine not have feelings when I feel like we're machines with feelings?
Mm.
Yeah. I guess the machine hasn't evolved enough.
Mm-hmm.
How much have we evolved?
How much? It's a question.
You know? Like, evolution is weird. Like, evolution is always about survival. Evolution is always about something that happens to a creature to make it better to survive. Our evolution is weird. Because we've evolved to the point that, yes, it's incredibly easy to survive. I mean, I could be a bum on the street.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be very uncomfortable. But I'd be able to survive. Go to a back of a Popeyes or a Chili's or Fridays or supermarkets and just eat scraps. Who knows? But it's just too easy just to survive, and people cannot bear it. We need more.
More. More.
Is evolution more?
More.
No. I don't truly believe that evolution is more. Evolution is evolving. You don't evolve by expecting more. You evolve by needing less.
To survive.
And being able to understand the environment and still survive.